Let's go inside American politics for a second. What happened, and as you know, President Bush I stood outside the White House one day and said, "I'm one lonely man standing up against the Israel lobby." What happened as a result of that, Mehdi, is that Republicans, post Bush 1, and manifested most in his son, Bush 2, took a strategic decision. They will never be out pro-Israel again. That, they believe, cost them electorally a lot. So that pulled the American spectrum to the right. And it created an arms race with the Democrats over who could be more pro-Israel. Then we had the Citizens United case in the Supreme Court that basically said unlimited campaign donations. Now what that meant is it gave enormous power, I've written all this in my column, to the Israel lobby. Why? Because, Mehdi, if you and I are running for Congress from the same district, and I have AIPAC's stamp of approval and you don't, I will maybe have to make 3 phone calls, and I can raise my whole, I'm exaggerating, but I don't have to make many phone calls to get all the money I need to run against you. You will have to make 50,000 phone calls. So that pulled the whole spectrum to the right. Then the Israeli government, we had a much more conservative government come in. So what I've seen in America is the whole spectrum on the Israel question has moved to the right, to the point, and this is very disappointing to me, where if you're a young political officer, you're in NEA, our nearest division of the State Department, you dream one day of being ambassador to Oman. Oh, I want to be ambassador to Oman, the car, the whole thing. You will not state publicly what is actually official U.S. policy, that Israeli settlements are an obstacle to peace. Now, when you go so many years where people won't even say publicly, what is the policy? It's inevitable that people perceive us, rightly, I mean, in many ways, not to be an honest broker.
That's the key point. It's not a perception.
Right.
It's a fact.
Yeah, there's what isn't understood by American diplomats today. We play a huge role in the Israeli cabinet. We need the prime minister to go to the cabinet and say, "I'd never do this myself." But the Americans, they broke my arm. They broke my arm. And what is sad to me about this moment is that the political lift it would take for an American Secretary of State now to really make progress in that part of the world is perceived by them as just too high in the current context, and that's a tragedy.